down. He took 1, 2 steps, and then Joey Porter Jr. knocked the ball out of his hands.
That is a touchdown. What? Come on, whoa. They said not a touchdown.
John Harbaugh cannot believe this.
Many could not believe that, let me tell you. That play you just watched is the one that got everyone talking yesterday. Overturned touchdown call, cost the Ravens the game. You could say Damian Woody joins us now here on First Take. What do you think? Did Isaiah Likely get robbed of a touchdown?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that word salad of a pool report that came out by the NFL is just literally trying to cover their behind for the simple fact that that was a touchdown catch. Literally, you're in the end zone. You catch the ball, 1, 2. That's it. You're not in the field of play. You're literally in the end zone. In the same game, we literally saw Aaron Rodgers throw a pass that got tipped up in the air. He caught it for a split second, and they ruled that it was a reception. So you ruled that a reception, but what Isaiah Likely did in the end zone, you ruled that it's not a touchdown catch. I think the NFL is making this thing way too complicated. It just like goes back to when Dez Bryant caught the ball and said it wasn't a catch when it really was a catch. Yeah. This thing should not be as complicated as what the NFL is making it to be. That was absolutely a catch, and the Ravens were robbed of that touchdown yesterday against Pittsburgh.
I love that we're showing the Dez Bryant catch. Cam, what do you think?
Remove all doubt. And I think when you make a play like this, you leave it into other people's hands to make their own decision. And yeah, to your point, Damien, it's 1-2 touchdown, but it's also a fine line that says 1-2 control touchdown. I don't think, Isaiah Likely had full control over the football, and it's just unfortunate because it could have went either way. I'm not here to say that it wasn't a catch or it is a catch. I'm here to say, knowing the circumstance of an offensive player, remove all doubt. They teach you to bring the ball into your body as much as you can, go down with full control, and it was too much of a risk to put it in the officials' hands, and that was the outcome.
Yeah, but it was still an awful call. It was a robbery. And I'm a Steelers fan, and even I have to admit that. The man caught the ball and came 2 feet down. And came 1, 2. That's a touchdown, all right? There's no way that it should have been overturned. It needed to be definitive and conclusive, and I don't think that they can say that in order to overturn a call. I thought it was bogus on their part, and I had their explanation, and this is according to NFL Vice President of Instant Replay, Mark Butterworth. Here's what he said. The receiver controlled the ball in the air, had his right foot down, then his left foot down. The control is the first aspect of the catch. The second aspect is 2 feet or a body part in bounds, which he did have. Then the third step is an act common to the game, and before he could get the third foot down, the ball was ripped out. Therefore, it was an incomplete pass. So you're Mr. Butterworth, according to you in your own explanation. Did he catch the pass? Yes. Was there 1 foot down? Yes. Was there 2 feet down? Yes. But because there wasn't a third foot down before the ball got knocked out of his hands, suddenly that's an incomplete pass. That is the most bogus nonsense of a statement I've ever heard in my life. He might as well and just not even let anybody know that, because now we all know Mr. Butterworth, okay, has acknowledged that it was a catch with 2 feet down and it's still not a touchdown. Now, this is a sport where if you touch the pylon, for crying out loud, okay, but then lose the ball, that's still a touchdown. If you extend and get over the goal line, but then lose the ball, you were over the goal line. So that's a touchdown. But a catch over the goal line with not 1 but 2 feet down is suddenly not a touchdown. I mean, make it make sense. That is just utterly ridiculous. It really is.
Again, that was nothing but a word salad that the NFL put out there to try to sway what was clear to everyone out there. Basically, what they were saying is, well, he needs to make a football move in the end zone. You are already in the end zone. There is no making a football move. You caught the ball. You had control. 1 foot down, 2 foot down. That's it. That's all it takes. So, again, Baltimore got robbed. They got robbed of a
But-
touchdown. There's no question about it.
Look, this looks like a touchdown to me too, but did they get robbed? Would they have won otherwise? Lamar Jackson did not have a great game. 63% completion percentage, 59 QBR, only rushed for 43 yards. It's one of the worst in his career. I don't know that that would have really changed anything.
Hey, Shay?
Yes? Go ahead.
Shay, let me put it to you this way. That would have given them the lead. Is that correct?
Correct. That would have given them the lead. But it's a team sport.
The Steelers had a grand total. The Steelers had a grand total of 8 yards of offense in the fourth quarter.
Well, I didn't do the gross yards.
So why should I believe that they wouldn't have won? 8 yards
Well, that's a good
in the fourth
point.
quarter.
That's a good point by one Stephen A. But my point is, it wasn't a complete and total win and an obvious runaway by either team. It felt like yesterday. So I don't know if that touchdown by Isaiah Likely would have really, really, truly made us feel good about the Ravens.
Well,
let's go to the Steelers side of it really quick, Stephen A. Let's hear from Aaron Rodgers, because a lot has been said about the Steelers during their struggles. Here's what happened yesterday after they escaped with the win. Listen to Aaron Rodgers.
What does it mean to get a win like this after the week that you guys have had and the week that kind of Mike Tomlin has had too?
Means maybe you guys will shut the hell up for a week.
He wishes, but we're not gonna. Not on this show. What did you make of his comments, Stephen A? What did you think about the Steelers?
My man was, everybody knows I love me some Aaron Rodgers, man, and I ain't mad at that brother at all, because he does need to clap back when he has the moments. He just needs to understand that it's a rarity, because based on the Steelers' recent history, he says that in 6 days later they get their ass kicked. So he has his moment right now, and he's entitled to it. But me personally, as a Steelers fan, you know what? At some point in time, Cam, D. Woody, I just want the Steelers to tell us who they are. What I mean by that is touch on greatness or stink. This modern era of mediocrity that they've saddled us with, where they make the playoffs 6 times in 9 years, but they haven't won a playoff game since 2016. We've seen absolutely nothing that has indicated to us that anything is going to change. You know what? Maybe if you stink up the joint, you'll find a quarterback, because you'll have a high enough draft pick to acquire one, okay? Because if based on what we saw yesterday, I mean, people might consider this good news or whatever. Ain't nobody questioning Mike Tomlin as a coach. We're questioning the absence of postseason results, because the standard is the standard and it hasn't been met. And there's nothing wrong with Steeler Nation sitting up there and feeling like, yo, we've given it enough time. We might need a new voice. We know that Mike Tomlin would get another job tomorrow because he's just that special. But the point is, this is about the Steelers. They haven't won a playoff game since 2016. They're 0-6 in that span. In that span, they have been down by at least 21 points in every single game. They've never had a lead. And on top of it all, they've been outscored in the first quarter 73-0. So not only have they not won a playoff game since 2016, they have scored a point in the first quarter of a playoff game since 2016. This is what we're looking at. And you can't find a quarterback or anything like that. And so you go there yesterday, and everybody's talking about like so much is on the line. You know what you did? You won a game. You're atop the AFC North again. You're in a good position, because especially with Cincinnati losing, to make the playoffs. So who you going to beat? You going to beat Buffalo? You going to beat New England? You going to beat Houston? Because Houston's coming. You going to beat Denver? You going to go to Denver and beat Denver? You going to beat the Chargers? You know, I mean, who you going to beat? You're going home again without a playoff loss, without a playoff win, rather. That's what we're looking at. That's their situation. So let Aaron Rodgers talk. He's entitled. Just understand, it's likely only for 6 days.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I love everything that Aaron Rodgers said, you know, because it is truth. But the also truth to this is we're talking because you talk first, A-Rod. Last week during this same time, you were speaking about, you know, underperformances and missed throws on your part, and, you know, just making sure that the signals and the miscommunications and things like that. Well, that's the reason why we're talking. Mike Tomlin's future in Pittsburgh. Yeah, the noise was extremely loud. So this moment is yours, but you cannot say that you didn't do your part in turning up the volume just a smidge. So needless to say, the thing that while watching this game, the Pittsburgh Steelers always show up when they play the Baltimore Ravens. There's no question, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But my real question is, where has DK Metcalf, this version of DK Metcalf, in the first half DK Metcalf, been all year? Because his dominance is so visual that it's like, yo, bro, like you have 100